Alright, as rumored, today was Media Day. Press outlets got to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for 1 hour and then share their experiences. So hate them or hate them, Centro Pokemon did compile all the information from these articles because some of them pretty boring. It's like, I did this, and then I did that, and then here's what I did, and here's how it happened, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is looking pretty good. And you might be wondering, well, why are you saying that about Centro Pokemon? It's because they're frauds. They're not credible. They take information from other places, and then they just hope it turns out to be true. And they also don't credit 98% of the time. So yeah, they're just scummy. You know, it's all about clickbait and attention and grifting, and that's further proven when stuff like this happens. So, this image has appeared out of nowhere, supposedly showing Wiglet's evolution. What do you think? I think that they just post any fake leak and hope that it turns out to be real so they can leech it for false credibility, because it's clearly fake. This is clearly trying to replicate what Kaka did with his real leaks. But yeah, that's obviously blatantly fake, and there's no scrutiny whatsoever, and then confirm fake. So yeah, just kind of proving that they are frauds. Earlier today, all that fun stuff. You know, Centro, this is fake. Make that clear. How do you know this is fake? And just a lot of stupidity. And the thing is, like, it's kind of good that we have these compilations because a lot of the articles themselves are also just as bad when it comes to nonsense. So an hour with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet suggests they might be too vast for their own good from Eurogamer. This is a gaming take I've never been able to wrap my head around that's kind of really blown up ever since Breath of the Wild, where it's like, I don't get what's up with Breath of the Wild. It's too open, there's too much to do, and then it means that I'm not playing Zelda anymore. Or it's like, I don't understand Elden Ring, you know, I got lost. That's the point of an open world game, but it seems like NPCs and just really lame people don't understand how to make their own adventure when given a complete open world. So yeah, like, you have to kind of sift through some nonsense. I say first properly open world, but there will be some caveats here. There's no caveats. Pokemon Legends Arceus, that was this year, was sort of open, more Monster Hunter-like game. That's also like another trend I've seen, is that I think as a part of the media thing, anyone that reviewed the game had to like make the distinction. This is the first open world Pokemon game. So yeah, much how the Pokemon League community is terrible, games media has been terrible for a very long time, but also just the Pokemon community being terrible and stupid, still thinking that Pokemon Legends is an open world game, but then rejecting when the Pokemon company said multiple times, this is a true open world Pokemon experience. The copium, man, it blows me away every time. So Scarlet and Violet are open, it seems, like an Elder Scrolls game is open, with the whole main world accessible more or less from the start, but some loading screens separating you from major cities like Mesagoza, which act as their own discrete areas. So like, they're trying, I don't know why they would be like, but there's some caveats when you just load a larger instance area for more fidelity. That's the only thing. So yeah, like just a lot of weird takes, but let's see what's going on with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon are shiny in the overworld just like Pokemon Legends Arceus. You mean Pokemon Let's Go, because they did it first, and that's kind of the standard that every game should be trying to live up to. Was weird that it wasn't Pokemon Sword and Shield. I guess maybe they thought shinies were too free, and then Pokemon Legends not being like directly competitive multiplayer main series made it okay. But now we finally have open world Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Awesome. I had no reason to think it wasn't going to happen. I already expected it. It really seems like with these kind of press things, the Pokemon Company is trying to clarify baseless misinformation because it's baffling how rapidly nonsense and lies spreads through the Pokemon community because people want something different. So it's like the Pokemon Company goes to these media sites and goes, hey, you kids are hip with the social media and understand the Pokemon community. What do you want cleared up about the games? And it's like, yo, like, we need to know if there's overworld shinies. There are. And also, battles against trainers no longer start automatically when they see you. You must approach it and start manually. That just seems like quality of life. That's also kind of a common thread throughout all of these reviews. Like, yo, the quality of life is better in this Pokemon game. But then they have to, like, say something backhanded about it. So, as a Pokemon fan, I'm absolutely delighted by Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's also articles like this. This is the best one, the one from The Verge. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's Paldea region is big, beautiful, and built for exploring. The first truly open world games feel like what Game Freak and Nintendo have been building towards this whole time. That's kind of the point. That's why I'm like, man, I don't understand the hate about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Still great games, incredible games when you get the DLC, but we still have more Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, with its open world, is going to be the culmination of everything, and yet people are still, like, hanging on to the trash game of Pokemon Legends and hating on Pokemon Sword and Shield, even though it was still really good, and Pokemon Let's Go also being infinitely better than Pokemon Legends and one of the best Pokemon games out there. So taking the good, discarding a lot of the bad, and saying, yo, we're going to be giving the best Pokemon experience ever near the end of Nintendo Switch or whatever's going on with that lifespan stuff. And yeah, so we have all that going on, but then they're like, but, you know, I have to think about the games critically, it's a bit more complex. If you love Pokemon Sword and Shield Legends, then you'll love Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, even if it feels a tad repetitive. But if you already thought the graphics from Sword and Shield sucked, or that Charmander is a class traitor since it's the only Kanto starter, like, then it just, it's nonsense. The new Pokemon games, except for Legends, are so good that, like, you just have to say NPC nonsense. It doesn't even make any sense. So you might be less excited for this game. It would soften the blow if I told you that I don't think Charmander is going to make a main appearance. That's the problem with Pokemon. No, Pokemon keeps innovating. Pokemon keeps on getting better, and as other people are saying, like, this is the ultimate Pokemon experience made better by the open world. Game Freak and Nintendo know that no matter what they make, people will buy it, just because we're simply pawns of the Pikachu machine. No, that was Pokemon Legends. Like, a trash tech demo of a game that made absolutely no sense and had the worst gameplay loop. But then Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet can have great gameplay loops. So how is that a problem with Pokemon, that it's evolved, learned from its mistakes, and now made something truly amazing that you said you're delighted by? That's not being on the treadmill. That's the franchise making good moves. But you gotta say it, or else people get mad at you, and that means less revenue. So, just like in Legends, you can move the camera in battles, you can throw the Pokeball with one of your Pokemon, wild Pokemon, from behind, try to catch them off guard, get an extra turn at the start. There is no level scaling. This does not need to be said because the Pokemon Company has already said it. You go on the website, they say, open world Pokemon game, you can create any challenge you want, there's no set gym order, good luck, have fun. And then people saw that and went, nah, level scaling still in. Again, going back to just the baffling, baseless stupidity of the Pokemon community, but they still don't think that Wolfie cheated, even though it's 100% confirmed. So yeah, some things can't be saved, and this is why we can't have nice things. The NPC stupidity of the Pokemon community baffles me every time, and they try to twist that into a bad thing. So I think it's also going to be more interesting since you have to opt into battles. That means, like, you're just free to explore and do whatever you want. But it also means you can end up under-leveled if you're not engaging with enough proper trainers with proper levels to get the proper experience. So that's going to be a thing, and how that, like, scales. We're going to see how that plays. The day-night cycle no longer depends on the real time. It's the same as in Legends Arceus, much faster, and then you can sleep into a specific time. That's pretty cool. As in Pokemon Legends, like, it's one of those things where they keep saying, like, as in Pokemon Legends, but again, that game was a trash tech demo, and it's going to be one of those things where these features were going to be implemented in, like, the next main series Pokemon game anyways, or at least the things that felt good from playing the game. I think there was, like, a recent interview or some kind of revelation to where Pokemon Legends development happened so recently that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was pretty much finished by the time Pokemon Legends came out, so none of the reception, none of what people think about Pokemon Legends is in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, just because of how game development works. So the problem with this is that idiots are trying to run away with it, like, see, Game Freak needs to listen to us more and give us more things like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Even though the roadmap of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was complete, there was no way that Pokemon Legends could influence Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is a good thing, because Pokemon Legends is the worst-selling modern main series Pokemon game, because it completely sucks. So, vocal minority ruining things again. So, yeah, like, changing movements of your Pokemon from the menu. Okay, cool. And what this means is, like, you have the move tutor built in, so that's just quality of life. Like, that's something I would expect in the next Pokemon game, not exclusive to Pokemon Legends, because that's just a natural progression. Generation 5 is the worst generation, both game, stories, and Pokemon design-wise, but they made repeatable TMs. It's not like that goes away in Generation 6. So yeah, making sandwiches at picnics has multiple effects. One of them increases the possibility that shiny Pokemon will come out. That's nuts. That's huge. That's also really cool. But it makes sense because Pokemon, like, I think maybe it's just because I'm old and I've been playing Pokemon for so long, these kind of game mechanics just weren't a thing that the game told you about or handed to you super easily. But incense in Pokemon Let's Go. Pop the incense, boom, 1 extra roll. Just free, just forever. While Pokemon are spawning by the dozens in the overworld. So that's going to be a part of the Shiny Guide. That's just going to be an extra little benefit. How can quality of life like that get people upset about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? I don't know. By using auto battles, your Pokemon will fight and try to defeat everything it encounters, even if they're shiny. That's the risk you take by doing the benefits of auto battling. I love it. So then people want harder, more serious Pokemon games, and now they're going to cry that they KO'd a shiny Pokemon, had no control over it. In total, you can get 18 medals, 1 for each type. 8 are obtained with the gems, another 10 in the other 2 stories, Titan Pokemon and Team Star bosses. And that's it. That's what we learned from the media, and then we can just kind of like see what people have to say about their experiences. Many friction points of the old games, or even just quirks that might not have added much friction, have been sanded down and removed. Wow, quality of life Pokemon game. How is it too vast? How is it still, oh man, Pikachu has everyone by the balls, therefore Pokemon can get away with anything, when they're just making every Pokemon experience better? But nah, you gotta say magic words, Pokemon Legends, so people like you and get more clicks. So yeah, like, a lot of weirdness, but at least it's been distilled down, and it's mostly just kind of clarifying things. I think it was either leaked by Kaka, or there was like something that could be suggested from how the trailers and what the website says about like the trainer battles. Really just the big revelations are shiny Pokemon, you can KO shinies with Let's Go, and food makes shiny boosting, or like gives you shiny rolls. So that's just kind of like the big update right there, and then just clarification, quality of life, good stuff. This is in line with like the lack of news we've been getting with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, unfortunately. The trailers are sparse, the new Pokemon reveals are leak, even the media doesn't seem like they get to say too much, which was also true of Pokemon Sword and Shield, but like there isn't that like fire, that passion towards like we need to figure out every single thing about the games. However, the open world does at least give like a little bit of leeway on that, like, hey, it's open world Pokemon, what else do we need to tell you? A new Pokemon reveal from this would have been nice though. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day, thank you very much for watching.